Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smells Like Teen Angst. I'm Sarah, and today we are going to talk about the first 2 episodes of Season 3, the final season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Now, before I get started, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Comment, let me know what you think about this season and how it's going so far, and keep the conversation going. Now let's talk about it. I do want to preface this by saying normally we get a whole season up front. We're able to review the whole thing and talk about it. We always make sure it's not spoilery. However, this time around, Prime Video let us know that no one is getting the full season. Everyone has to watch it as it airs. So as much as that sucks for us because we like watching it early, it kind of gives us a really fun opportunity to have discussions with you. So feel free, dive into our comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Are you still Team Conrad? Are you still Team Jeremiah? Have you swapped teams throughout the seasons? Did you swap teams throughout the books? Because we here are also, I know you did last the Summer I Turned Pretty readers. So the first 2 episodes are very much setting up the season and where we're going to go. We have done a time jump. We are 4 years in the future since the last time we saw everybody in season 2. We are now at the end of Belly's first year in college. Jeremiah is supposed to be graduating. They have apparently been in a blissful relationship for the last 4 years. Conrad is in medical school, doing well, still keeping to himself. He is in therapy, which is the #1 complaint from the books as well as the show, because, he is his child. The first 2 seasons, these are all children. Let's keep this in perspective. They are all children dealing with grief in a way that they don't know how. So, moving on. Taylor and Steven are Taylor and Stevening. They have been off again, on again, apparently the whole last 4 years. And it just continues to get messier and messier within their relationship. Now, for me, these first 2 episodes seem to be in fast forward. It's kind of odd. I feel like season 1 was paced so perfectly. We got to really know who each and every character was, whatever their archetypes were going to be. And then in season 2, we started in a really deep, dark place for the first quarter of it. And then it kind of started to feel again like we are back in the Summer I Turned Pretty summer of cousins. And now with season 3, everyone is so disparate that even the editing feels disparate and disjointed, including the soundtrack. Well, and that's not me saying the soundtrack is bad. There's always a great soundtrack. Jenny Han knows exactly what song she wants to play. What I love so much about the Summer I Turned Pretty soundtracks is that the soundtracks are also another character. And in a way, they're also everyone's heart song in the moment. And we're still trying to do that, but we're not giving it enough room. It all feels a little clunky. And I think that's because we're in such fast forward. By the end of the first episode, if you're a book reader, this wasn't a surprise. If you're only a show watcher, it may have been, about Jeremiah sleeping with another girl. I kind of hate how this was done. It's very Ross and Rachel, but like the Walmart version. And I'm like, do not make me on Jeremiah's side in a cheating conversation, because I am very much, when it comes to Ross and Rachel and Friends, they were on a break. In The Summer I Turned Pretty, we see a lot of Jeremiah's childish side is still there. He has not had a lobotomy. He is still the same character he was in season 1. If you remember season 1, Jeremiah is very go with the flow, sleeping with everybody, hooking up with a bunch of people, whether you're a boy or girl. That bisexual storyline fell to the wayside, but it's still there. He is a party boy. He's the youngest. He has no responsibilities. And then when Conrad had to go to college in season 2, he had no choice but to help take care of his mother and help pay her bills during that time. It wasn't a choice he was making. He had no choice. And that's the difference. It doesn't automatically make someone a responsible human being. So now we are in season 3, and Jeremiah and Billy have been together his entire college experience. He is in his senior year. I think, and this is obviously putting thoughts into a character's head, but from my own personal experience, he is picking a fight. They have him pick a fight because he wants to be single on spring break. He wants to have a single boy experience for once during his college time. And instead of being mature, and to be fair, none of us, I don't think, would have actually been at that time, he doesn't break up with Billy earlier. Instead, he picks a fight so that he can go and be angry and do whatever he wants. Well, in the books, it is Billy who picks more of the fights because she's like not getting what she needs. I don't hate this turn, and I do think it is within Jeremiah's character of who he's been set up to be up until this point. Because again, 1 year of helping your dying mother does not change who you are at your core. And now, sadly, the Jeremiah mask is falling off. And I do not believe it's an assassination of character. I believe it is a forthcoming, truthful character moment where Jeremiah can't just be this perfect person that he feels he needs to be because he feels inferior not only to Conrad, but to his father, and doesn't feel good enough to be with Billy. And we've also known that since season 1. So in a way, he started imploding his life, which happens. Something I wish they would have done, and this was a complaint for me in season 2 as well, we never really got to see Conrad and Billy happy together. We got a handful of flashbacks. We see their first time together. And then it's all very much tumultuous, and we're dealing with Conrad and his grief, and how he's not handling it well at all because, again, they're children, and causing Billy to break up with him. We all saw that. We all knew that. We all clocked that. And so they're doing the same thing with Jeremiah and Billy. We don't get to see them together in the 4 years. We're just kind of getting pieces of flashbacks. And I feel like it's unfair to both relationships. Like, I want to see them at their highest, and I want to see them at their lowest, and I want to see how they each figure these things out. Because right now, this is like our biggest fight we're seeing Billy and Jeremiah have, and it is the worst. Give me something to like actually root for, and not just be like, I mean, I get this character. I've dated Jeremiah's. There's a reason I'm Team Conrad, you know? When it comes to episode 2, we are seeing the fallout of the Jeremiah Billy, her learning about Jeremiah sleeping with another person in the worst way possible. They change, well, we don't really know because we don't get to see Cabo. So like in the book, it's a little sketchy. In this, I'm unsure. Like, were they drinking? Sure. They had sex twice? Once? Maybe I could be like, is an accident. Twice is a choice. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we are watching the fallout of that. And if Bella even wants to tell people what's going on, she's so mad at Jeremiah. She doesn't want to tell Conrad. She doesn't want to tell Steven. The only person that knows is Taylor. Steven, after having that amazing conversation with Belly in episode 1, which is actually my favorite scene of the 2 episodes, honestly, because Steven is my favorite character of the show and continues to be my favorite character of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Steven and Billy have this beautiful conversation at dinner, and it's because they're so honest with each other. They tell each other exactly what they need to hear in a nice sibling way, and there's no pretense, and they actually listen to each other instead of brushing each other off. So in episode 2, Steven is going to Taylor to try and confess his feelings and gets in a horrific car accident. And when these things happen to people, they are very much a moment of clarity. You realize the little things don't matter, that you can absolutely let go of what you're upset about. And then on the other hand, when it comes to Steven and Taylor, Taylor is ready to be all in, and Steven, it's unclear if he heard Taylor's confession to Belly about her feelings. What do you think? I kind of think he did, but I also don't think he did, because he's so madly in love with her. And, you know, their argument led to him not paying attention while driving, and he almost died. So him kind of ending things that way makes me sad, but I do think that he and Taylor will eventually end up together. There is a lot of weird, like, making cheating okay happening, because Steven is with someone and Taylor is with someone, and they're having an affair together. And then you have, like, at the end of this episode, Belly takes Jeremiah back and, like, explains how she's upset with him and that he's apologizing, he's going to make it up to her, and then he proposes. Like, we knew a proposal was coming. I just wanted it to be better for her. But you know what? Everyone's proposal story is different. Some people like a flash mob. Other people just want it to happen quietly at home on their couch. So I think it's interesting. I know there's a lot of conversation about how they're really setting up Conrad, showing like his character changes are better and making him a better character, and Jeremiah's character changes are making him our character assassination, and I couldn't disagree more. And I don't know, maybe that's because I've never been on Jeremiah's side, because I know Jeremiah's, I've dated Jeremiah's. They are absolutely one way, and he could change eventually. And I actually think he may have been a better person had he not been with Belly in the first 4 years of college and then actually tried to be with Belly after. Conrad had her, lost her, and decided to get out of her way and his own way because he knew he could not be who she needed. So he trusts Jeremiah, as much as it hurts him, to take care of her while he is going to better himself. And then in the end, I don't know if Conrad's even thinking, well, he is. We know he is. And in the end, he's hoping maybe eventually they'll come back together. And if they don't, it's okay, because at least she's with someone he cares for. We do see in one of their flashbacks that Belly and Conrad end up in cousins together. And he does his little Conrad thing, very subtle, very also Jenny Han Easter egg, leaving her a note when he leaves. Nothing happens, leaving her a note when they leave. And then also the crossword puzzle with Jenny Han's P.S. I Still Love You, the second book in that series, which is fantastic. And he filled it in and then erased it so she could fill in the still, which is Conrad kind of doing his version of his big one. We see him in therapy, working through his grief, working through his emotions. He now has a friend that checks him on his stuff, which is necessary. We all need that. So it's up to the character and how they write him if any of this is actually helpful. And here's one thing I'll also say about book readers versus only show watchers. And I don't know if this is just her style, but I think Jenny Han writes terrible boys in general. She writes really great leading female characters. And every boy that I've read so far is atrocious. And I say that about Peter Kavinsky. When I read that book, I was like, why is this character trash? He's so bad. Girl, run away from him, Laura Jean. And then in the movie, they fix him. He's much better. He's watchable. He's likable. And I feel the same way when it comes to The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't think Conrad's likable at all in the books. I was like, that guy's trash. I don't think Jeremiah is likable in the books. He's also trash. So the show does a good job of making both the characters likable and stick to who they are at their core, while also bettering the writing and bettering the storytelling and bettering their characters. And it's great that they have fantastic actors to help them do this.
Life's too short not to spend it with the person that you love.
So what did you think? What are some of your favorite moments of the first 2 episodes of The Summer I Turned Pretty? Comment, let me know down below. I don't know what's going on, but I know it's going to be fixed. I trust in the Han.